Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, I'm going to be talking about the importance of friendship when it comes to da'wah and calling people towards Islam. Statistically, we found that many people have misunderstandings and misconceptions about Islam and a negative perception of Islam. But at the same time, if we look at the numbers, most of these people that have a negative image of Islam have never actually met a Muslim. So what that tells us is that people that know Muslims and are friends with Muslims and deal with Muslims, they generally have a favorable image of Muslims. The lesson that we learn from this is that we need to be very outgoing when it comes to making friendships with people and showing our akhlaq. One example that I always give is that we often talk about the 5 pillars of Islam as being the fundamentals of the religion. But at the same time, if we look at those 5 pillars are mostly concentrated within ourselves or within our community. For example, the Shahada, which is something which is personal, our faith, it is between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Salat, we either pray in the Masjid or we pray at home, and even if we pray at work, we pray in a private cubicle. Fasting, it's a month of Ramadan, and that is again between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hajj, we perform in Mecca and only Muslims are allowed to go there. Zakat is usually distributed amongst only the Muslims. So from those 5 pillars, we cannot see any one of them that show that interaction between Muslims and non-Muslims. So when and how are we going to have any type of interaction with non-Muslims is when we befriend them at work or outside. Basically, it's important to have these kinds of relationships so that the avenue is open for dialogue. Many people have a misunderstanding about a verse of the Quran in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَتَّخِذُوا الْيَهُودَ وَالنَّصَارَى أَوْلِيَاءَ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seemingly is telling us that, O people of faith, do not take the Jews and the Christians as awliya, as close friends or allies, because they are allies to each other, they are close friends to each other, and whoever befriends them is actually from amongst them. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide the wrongdoers. So in this verse, actually, it seems that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us not to befriend the Jews and Christians. But as with all other Quranic verses, we need to understand that there's a context and a background to a verse and why it was revealed. In this particular case, this verse was revealed about the hypocrites and the munafiqeen that used to go round to the Jews and Christians and tell them that you need to be allied with us just in case the Muslims find out about us, and then once they find out about us, then we're going to be in problems. So at that time, we want you to be with us to fight against the Muslims. So when we understand this verse in that context, it shows us the verse in a completely different light. Now, keep this point in mind, that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is allowing Muslim men to marry women of the people of the book, Jewish and Christian women, as long as they are muhsanat, fortified, protected women, then how is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also telling us not to befriend them? It doesn't make sense. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is allowing us to consume from the dhabiha, or the meat which is slaughtered, if we are sure and certain that it was slaughtered by a Jewish person or a Christian person. How is it that it would be allowed if we are not allowed to befriend them? So if we understand these points, then it makes us understand clearly what those particular verses are about. We need to make sure we are friendly towards non-Muslims. We need to make sure that we show our akhlaq and our manners to the non-Muslims. We need to make sure that our friendliness, it permeates through the community and society, and people know us and realize that this Muslim is a friendly person, this Muslim is a good person, this Muslim is a generous person, and all the negative things that we hear about Muslims in the media, these people have nothing to do with them. Once we do that, and once people realize these things, then inshallah, the way for giving da'wah becomes easy, and we can invite people towards Islam very, very easily. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us, myself, and everyone who's watching the tawfiq to understand and practice what has been said and heard. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.